have got their businesses from online sources. Today, you have companies with websites. You have companies with social media sites connected to their websites, so you can be able to get them people liking that particular site, and you find that this makes it possible for as many customers to be recruited in the organization. So this is a wide. Like today, we talk about e-commerce. E-commerce has become a big thing, especially during this COVID-19 thing. You find that, in fact, some of the richest firms or most profitable companies in the world today are e-commerce firms like Amazon. Amazon is one of the largest and most successful e-commerce firms. Talk about Alibaba. Talk about uh, Jumia here locally. You find that they have been successful because of doing business there, and you find that in many cases, even getting customers is through online databases and such like, and that makes it much more possible to access information about customers. So the key thing is get customers database, put it there so that you can easily access it online. Are we together? The next very important source of business, new customer, is called cold canvassing. Now, this is the oldest way of reaching out to new customers that has been used from time immemorial, for example. So cold canvassing or cold calling, they mean the same thing. The activity is just the same. The key thing about it is that you approach potential customers without prior contact or prior appointment. In other words, you bump into someone, you inform them about the product. You can go on a door-to-door knocking mission. You can call people's phone numbers and try to woo them to buy your product. So now the key thing, you can use what is called telemarketing. You can approach, you know what the hawkers are doing. They sit there waiting for customers. Sometimes there are those people, itinerant traders. They move from place to place trying to talk to you. When they see you, they want to tell you about their product. Now it's one of the most challenging tasks, especially for salesmen, those who are trying to reach out to customers without appointment. It becomes challenging, it's become stressful. It is wrought with a lot of negative responses from the people you are approaching. Sometimes people have had doors banged on their faces and such like. You see posters written, "No hawking is allowed here." Salesmen are not permitted. So you find that is a stressful, difficult activity. Now, what are the challenges? Where do these challenges come from? What do you think? Where do these challenges come from? Where do we get these difficulties? Where do these challenges come from? What do you think? So one major thing about it is the reaction of the approach, the reaction of the prospect, which is normally negative. The reactions of prospect, like you approach on the street, you might feel that somebody is trying to sell something fake. Somebody comes to knock your door or at your office door, for example. You feel that they are intruding or interfering. So the reactions from the approach tend to be quite negative, and that puts off puts off the salespeople. Then another thing is the fact that the potential customer or the person being approached has got no idea about what you're talking about. They have never heard you about the product. They have never maybe heard about the farm. It's something so new to them. And you find that this makes it quite difficult for them to internalize the fact that now they are talking to somebody about a particular product. And of course, that person did not plan to buy that particular product. Like you are waiting maybe for a bus on the street, and then someone comes there with maybe some gadget, they want to sell it to you. Did you plan for it? So that makes it a challenge. Then, of course, you are also meeting a stranger. This makes and again difficult. Another thing, maybe you may not even have interest in that particular product. So why should you buy it in the first place? Another thing is resentment that are generated. The customers tend to be resentful, especially if they are approached without prior warning. So you find that in many cases, such people there are some people who can turn violent, especially if they feel that maybe you have some ulterior motives. So that makes it quite a difficult thing to undertake. And of course, very important, ethical issues associated with cold calling. Sometimes they believe, or maybe they thought that, oh, maybe these people are conmen, Talk about conmen. Where did they get this thing? Why are they willing to sell it at a different price? They must be doing something that is not right or something wrong somewhere. So those potential feelings tend to make people quite negative. Are we together? Are we together? Let me know if there is any problem with the sound. Okay. Good. So, oh, very good. If you're together, is fantastic. So all those things could be sources of challenge as far as cold approach is concerned. Now, I want to ask you a question. How can you make cold approach effective as an organization? We've seen that highlight I've placed there. How do you make cold approach effective? How would you make cold approach effective? That's you reach out to customers and then in the most effective way. In what way? What can organization do? What can individual do in order to make it effective? We realized one reason why people feel that it is a difficult and challenging thing is the fact that it creates an opportunity for intrusion, that customers feel or prospects feel that their privacy has been intruded into. So what are the ways that can make it effective? Let me hear your responses by typing your suggestion on the portal, on the public chat. Let me hear your responses. Cold calling, as I said, is approaching prospect without prior warning. Are we together? And we have looked at reasons why that makes it really a difficult thing. The prospect had never met you. They have never heard about the product. They don't even know the company. There are ethical issues that are associated. Maybe there is a thought that there are conmen, people coming to sell for you things that are, of course, maybe inferior, things that have been smuggled, such kind of things. Negative reaction from prospect makes it difficult. So what do you think? How can it be made less? How can it be made effective? How can it be made effective? I'm not seeing guys typing there, but let's find ways. One way is to make it less intrusive. Less intrusive. How do you make it less intrusive? Avoid interfering with people's private lives. Like if it is about making a call at the right time, not at the ungodly hours. Like you want to call at 9 in the night. Or if you are visiting, don't visit at a time when people are very busy with their work. This morning, somebody wants to open the office, and then you are there, you want to sell to them. If you are visiting homes, don't go over lunchtime when they know that they are having a meal. No. And then you sit there, and then awkwardly they wonder whether they give you something or not. Are you together? When you're calling a family, get to know that these are people with their private lives. Who are you? Maybe you are a sales lady and you are calling a man. You got the contact, and then you speak, and then the wife hears your voice, and then it ruins that family. So such kind of things. Make your approaches, cold calling approaches, less intrusive as possible. Are we together? I'm not seeing people putting their suggestions, but let's look at some of those ways. One is I've just talked about it too. We have just mentioned that for domestic customers, call at the right time. Avoid intruding into people's lives unnecessarily. Respect the privacy of customers. You can respect customers' privacy. And if they don't want to be bothered, don't insist that you have to present a product to them. Sometimes they tell you that I don't have the time now. Maybe we can arrange another time. But you insist that I have to tell you about this product. Maybe you've traveled. Maybe you traveled from Nairobi to Naivasha to meet the person, and then they tell you, no, come maybe in 1 week's time or in 3 days' time, and then you feel like, oh my, I wasted my time. So you insist. So don't insist. Respect their wish not to be bothered. Another thing, avoid the behavior of trying to bully customers into speaking to them or to seeing you. That they have to make a comment, they have to say something. Intimidating, like they tell that if you don't take this policy, the next accident you are the one who's going to get involved into it. Or you give a story of somebody who did not take a particular policy, and then the accident that happened in a particular place they got involved in. So it's like you are scaring the client, you are scaring the person. Then use cold calling methods to secure future appointments. Are we together? Instead of making a call or meeting someone and you want to present a product to them right there and then, to be counterproductive, it's better that, I've come to your place for this purpose, but I want to find if we could arrange to meet at an appropriate time so that we can discuss this and that. That future point, it makes it much more useful. Even the person you wanted to approach can trust you that you're professional, you're doing your job in the most effective way. So that is very important. So agree to make an appointment so that you can be able to discuss when each of you has got that time. Then, of course, very important, this is very key. Find out as much information about the prospective customer. Find out, get to know these people in advance, even before you approach them. Get to know what kind of work person are they, what job, what is this role in society, what is the range of his income, so that when you approach them, you are armed with information about them. It will be much better to handle that such kind of a person. So look at those things very carefully. Are we together? So those 6 could be important. Yes. Are we together? Are we together?
Yes.
Good. Right. So I think we can continue. If is there any question? Somebody is lost. Somebody. So you can take those quick notes on that. Now I want to pose another question. Of course, we have realized that it's a challenging activity, but there's a way in which one can maneuver around it. Now, organizations still use cold calling method of prospecting, like those people you see sitting on the street with tents trying to get customers. They're actually doing what's called the cold calling approach. People still doing send salesmen on the street, onto offices and such other places. They're actually using that method. Those who use telemarketing, telephone calling, they call numbers and they try to inform customers. Why do you think organizations still use it, yet it's a challenging and most difficult method? That's a question I'm posing to you. Why do you think organizations still use cold calling approach to getting new customers, yet it is challenging, yet it is difficult, yet it taxes a lot the salesman? What do you think? Let me hear your suggestions. Let me hear your suggestion. Karaoke. Let me get your suggestions. Why do you think organizations still use cold calling approach, yet it is viewed as challenging, difficult, and sometimes counterproductive? Yes, Adhiambo. Yes, I'm waiting. Good. Hello. Karaoke, are you there? Yes, I've posed a question. Why do you think? What you can suggest is it represents a proactive approach by businesses that they are still committed to meeting with their customers. They're still committed to meeting with their customers. Are we together? Also, it presents an opportunity to build customer relationship, customer organizational relationship. So in other words, it's more of a public relation activity. And then, so this company still exists. So this company still has its products out there. So that is another reason we can take into consideration. Yeah? Are we together? Yes, as you are thinking about that, let's look at some methods of prospecting. Of course, this one we have looked at it. It can be a method, it can be a source. We have already mentioned about it. Referrals, we had made comments about it. Content marketing. Now, this is developing a content and which you post or send to your customers. You can send them as responses to inquiry. You can put them on online as information that relates to your product so that somebody can have a look and make decision. Networking is creating a network of possible customers. For example, once you have recruited your customers, you ensure that you maintain a relationship with them, and that every customer that you know, you always maintain that communication between you and your organization. Then network with companies in your industries or companies or maybe suppliers and what have you, so that you are connected to different customer or different possible businesses. Email marketing, also known as direct marketing, is whereby direct messages are sent through to customers. Like we looked at in direct marketing as one of the promotional mix elements, that you send specific messages to specific customers, and always this mostly targeted marketing approach. Webinars, or this is using websites to connect with customers like we are doing. You can do such kind of online connectivity like we are doing. We are doing this discussion for this particular class. Seminars is where you set up seminars where people could attend so that you can do a group product presentation to them. And in that way, you can get a customer. In fact, it has been a very common way of getting customers, especially in service industries where banks or insurance industry may have such seminars and get access to customers. Then also we have what is called social networking. Social networking is where people meet up in social occasions. Today we have social networking sites like Facebook, like WhatsApp, and many other social networking sites. It's no longer just the traditional social networking where people had communities meeting, people meet in social places, but today it is even much more enhanced through social media platforms. So we can be able to look at all these as major methods that can be used for prospecting. Other methods I'm going to share with you in a moment, but let me first hear whether people are still here or they took leave. The question I had asked, I have not forgotten about it. So is still valid. Yeah, I can see there are answers coming in the portal. That's very good. Yes, very good. It's proactive approach and easier to convert people before they. You also reason why companies still use cold approach is even your rivals, your competitors use it. So it's much more easier to. It's much better reaching out to your prospect or your customers uh, uh, before they are taken by competitors. Uh-huh. Of course, you get direct feedback. Very good, Sarah. That's a very important one. A very important contribution. Uh, so I want us to look at qualifying prospects. Qualifying prospects. Qualifying prospects. Once we have our prospects, how do we qualify them? How do we qualify them? How do we qualify prospect? What we mean by qualification is determining whether a prospect is worth presenting a product to. It's not anybody on the street in an office qualifies to be a good customer who can buy your product. There are aspects that you require. How do you get to know that somebody is capable of buying? You need, first of all, to qualify them. When we were looking at the process of selling, one thing that we had looked at was how to qualify the prospect. And we said we look at an acronym. You can look at an acronym called MAN, money, authority, and need. Money, authority, and need. When it comes to money, we look at their background. How much money do you think these people earn? Are they capable? Are they able to purchase that particular product? That's what you're gonna look at in the first place. Are they capable of purchasing that product? Uh, so, so that's a very important way to qualify because you don't want to waste your energy and somebody does not have money to pay for. Because salespeople, it is important, it is very, very important that they don't waste their effort. So getting prior or pre-qualifying the prospect is very important when selling. Get to know this person so that when you're doing presentation, you can do targeted presentation of the product. So let me share something here for us to be able to look at. Yes. So what I'm sharing right now is can state it as methods of how to qualify prospects, qualifying the prospect. We look at how much money they have. Their ability to pay is very important, very critical in qualifying them. Ability to pay, financial resources, it's very, very important to consider. We also look at their authority to make decisions. Authority to make decision, meaning are they able to make a commitment or do they have to uh, refer to someone else? So authority to make commitment is very important. Who buys? Like if you are talking about couple, a family, who is in the family can make purchase decision. You get to know that person and deal with them. If you are dealing with an organization, for example, you need to know uh, who has the authority to make decision as far as the purchase is concerned. So get to know, find out about it, and deal with them. Talking about a government agency, who is there to make how do they do their things? Very important. Because it economizes your time. It doesn't spend wasting time with junior officers who cannot even make any decision. Another thing is a need. A need. A need is important because someone may have the money, but they don't have a need. So first of all, you need to find out. As when we started, we said we talked about marketing. We defined a need. We defined marketing. We say that it's finding out. It's about finding out what customers really want and then providing it. So you cannot just go forcing people to buy the product yet they don't want those things. So it is very important to ensure and to determine that, because in that way you'll be able to uh, be targeted. You'll be able to, you will not waste your time. Another thing is accessibility. It's not highlighted here, but accessibility relates to is it possible for you as a salesperson to get to interact with this person, to get to do a presentation to this particular target client, for example. So accessibility, availability. Can you reach them? Very important. Are you able to reach this person? So add that to those three I've already given you up there. Accessibility, availability. Are you able to see them? Are you able to reach them? Are you able to make presentation to them? Very important. Another very important aspect that you need to look at is their attitude towards the product. Their attitude towards, you need to note this person. What do they think? What do they feel? How do they feel about this particular product? It's very important to determine that when trying to sell to them. Are we together? Are we together? Good. Is there any question up to that point? Is there any question up to that point? Any question? Let me. Yes, any question before I throw questions back at you? It's now a time for me to throw questions. Any question? Any question up to that point? Yes, what's that question? Somebody has typed a yes. Good. If there is no question, we can proceed and check out on something else, okay? Very briefly, we check out on something else. Uh, Hello, are you there? So let me share a past paper so that you can check on it. Okay. Good. I think I got it. Question number 12A. Number 12A. One of the sources from which a consumer may search for information about a product is the internet. Explain 4 factors that may have led the increasing popularity of the source. Now, can you take question number 12A? Number 12A. Take that number 12A. Can be able to look at that. Yeah, one of the sources from which consumer may search for information about a product is the internet. Why is it becoming popular? So why is internet popular? So that's a discussion point for you. I believe you have picked it. And another one similar to it is outline 4 advantages of using telephone as a method of prospecting for customers. Outline advantages of using telephone as a method of prospecting for customers. Remember when we started, we had mentioned that number 15A. Number 15A. Now I want to hear you guys to see your contributions. Put your contributions there. Or you can be able to join up through sound. Put up your contribution. Or you can unmute and state your contributions, right? Yes. So number 15 is I will post that paper, the entirety of it on the revision section, so you may have access to the other questions. But for now, work on this. You have not seen 12A. Okay, here it is. 12A is here. 12A is there. Yes, I believe you have now checked on it. You can work on them. Advantages of telephone. Why is internet becoming popular? Then, of course, let's get other questions. Most questions here relates to the previous chapters. Actually, like personal selling, yeah. So I believe you have picked the questions. So let me get your responses. The questions I've given you. 15A, someone says cheap and fast, very good. Popularity, that is advantages of telephone. Yes, cheaper than traveling to see people directly. Who has not seen question 15A? Caroline. Here it is. Here it is, 15A. Advantages of using, check those questions. Good. Have you picked the questions? The two questions? I want to place a third one, okay? Yes, question 11B. Question number 11, part B. Question number 11, part B. So 11B, also pick that. 11, part B. Ms. Kambua is a salesperson and is prospective for new customer. Explain 4 factors that she should consider when determining those who qualify as prospects. 4 factors. This one is a quick fire. You need not to even think. You can, because we've just discussed the same. Are we together? Are we together? Are we together? Yes, very good. Now, that 11B is quick fire. We just discussed it. You can be able to do it, and it will be beautiful. So I believe you have picked that. Let me scroll down to check if there could be another that of the same topic. 15B, outline four methods that a company may use to prospect for customers. Outline four methods that a company may use to prospect for customers. Now, when you are outlining here, you can see set marks. Yeah, you put meat to your outline. You add meat to it so that it's something that is understandable. Don't just mention as I did. You just have to add some meat to it. So you can also pick that. Can pick that as well. Good. I believe you have picked it. Let's check if there is any more. Those who missed question 11B, there you go. Question 11B is there. Yeah, I believe you have picked them, so work on them. I'm going to place a few of them on the portal so that you can have a place where you can answer. If you may not easily, you can see your responses quite good. You can also discuss among yourselves. You can also discuss among yourselves and maybe get and post some answers there. Good. So next time, I remember last week we had a challenge with the discussion, and we were discussing on process of selling. We're discussing on process of selling, and that was a challenge. But I believe we can be able to look at it. Are you good enough? We can look at it now. Process of selling, which we looked at last week. We looked at it last week, although with the challenges of sound, we had sound problem. So this is just about prospecting. I'll be able to put a few of the work that I've given you there on the portal so that some of you can be able to answer it later on, not necessarily during this discussion, during this live discussion, but you may answer them later on. And good. Remind your colleagues about the classes. Huh? They are not turning up. You don't know when NEC will send the papers to be done. Like they are normally traditionally done in July. But when lockdown is over, you never know. Exam can be the next day. So always try to attend so that at least you can be on the same page. So I believe you have picked those papers. So to work on them even as I you see, you are class attendance, huh? So check out keenly. If I've marked you absent and you're there, you can shout. Was Catherine really there? Let me say. Yeah, she's there. Good. See, there are quite a number in class, but they are not attending. This one was, they've been here. No, Karanja was not there. Was Karanja there? No.
Sure.
You are
You
there?
have marked me absent.
Who is that?
Carol.
Caroline is there.
Yes, on top.
I've marked you absent.
Mm-hmm.
No, Caroline, I've not reached your name.
Lower, bit lower.
Do you see the way you are present? Tumaona, you are present. I've not marked you absent. Did you see? Yeah, you are present. This one is not there. Not there. This one I saw.
Sir.
Yes. Yes.
I've not seen.
You are not?
I've not seen my name there.
It's there. We have a second page, okay? You are karaoke.
Okay.
Yeah?
Valentine.
Your name is there. It will show. You have not seen your name.
And me?
Who is that?
Jen.
Jane, I've marked present.
Okay.
So Valentine, do you read this one? Valentine,
Yeah.
you have
Yes,
seen
I've
your
now
name?
seen. Yes.
Good. So ask your colleagues to be attending. Huh? Miriam was there.
Na namba wengine wa wako huko
Uh-huh. So, so I've taken it. So if I'll still review it if you are there. So make sure you be attending. Tell the other colleagues to do the same. Melanie was here last week. I don't know where she went. But I've sent to them messages twice on the one they can be able to check. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to post activities on the portal so that you can look at them, plus a few other things that I'll put these past papers. Like you realize what we were supposed to do last week when we were not communicating was a process of selling, and these past paper questions can see there are lots of them have got the process of selling in them. Let me share another one so that you can be able to see. So check if I've marked you and you're there, you can always inform me, okay? Right. Let's share that paper again so you can be able to see it. So those questions I'd given you previously relate to the prospecting. Now, last week we were looking at process of like this question number 12A. Mr. Ali is a salesperson and has difficulty in closing sales. Explain 6 causes of such difficulties. So you'll find such questions. So in the past paper, you'll be able to find questions related to that area. Did you look at personal selling? Personal selling? Yes, I think we looked at it. Personal selling. And you can see there's a question that relates to that. Good. Let's look at this other one. What does it have to say? The 3 types of customers. So we'll be able to take time to revise each and every paper so that everyone can get there. We can be able to test ourselves. So don't worry that I'm going through them very quickly, but we'll be able to revise each one of them later on. Then on this one, now next week, I want us to look at customer care. I want us to look at customer care and any area that you feel was not well done. Like last week's area, we were talking about process of selling and we were not able to communicate well because of sound issues. But we'll look at those areas again. Now, I'm checking on the questions related to process of selling, so that when I put this paper, you can actually single out those and look at them. We can see here This is related to customer care. This is personal selling. This is presentation. Number seven here, list 3 types of sales presentation that a salesperson may use to sell to his customers. Sales presentations. Types of sales presentation. So I think we had looked at that, although I was not speaking, but of course we will be able to look at them. Like let me. You look number 7, types of sales presentations. So I'll be able to give you then. Also, number 6, advantages of using personal visits in prospecting customers. Advantages of using personal visit. Mwaro, you are there. Yeah, I thought I marked you right. Advantages of using personal visits. That's another question. Why should a salesman personally visit a customer? What are some of the advantages? Another question in prospecting that you need to take into consideration. Yeah, so take a note of number 6 and number 7. List 3 types of presentation that a salesman. That one is related to what we were looking at last week, and I believe most of us were there to pick them, although I was not you were not hearing me, but I showed I placed them on focus. I think if you download the notes, you can be able to see them. Good. Let me check the last paper for anything related to last week. List 4 measures that a marketer should take in order to facilitate selling activities. What are the measures? Let's look at what is related to last week and this week. List 3 indicators of a prospect rejection of presentation. This is also related to last week when we looked at presentation as part of the selling process. What are the indicators of assessment, presentation, rejection? When they don't make a decision to buy, when they are not sure, maybe they are confused. This related to pricing policy. What? Yeah, this is describes this fact that would make a customer fail to respond to the presentation of a salesperson in personal selling. This is also related to process of selling. So what would make a customer fail to respond? So these are related to last week. So I'll post all of them on the revision. You'll check on the portal. I'll place their revision papers or past papers. You can always check and download and look at them. So those are the past papers. Now, Moaro, you are there. I've marked you at present, so don't worry. So these are question types of or methods of sales presentation. Being shared is a presentation. As we looked at it last week, and we're looking at some sales presentation methods or categories. How would a salesman do their presentation? We had several. The first one here is a fully automated presentation. What this means is that you can use systematic approach using slides, film, or like slides, films, PowerPoint presentation, and the salesperson simply sits there to answer questions. But everything is automated, even the recording voice. Like you can do a podcast presentation. Like sometimes I'll do a podcast and post it here for you with pre-recorded voice, because sometimes these live voices sometimes get a challenge and you might find it difficult to engage. But if you have a pre-recorded voice and interaction and put it as PowerPoint presentation as a podcast, it can easily communicate. So I'll just be there to answer questions. So that's what is more meant to be fully automated presentation. Semi-automated presentation deals with balancing both use of materials and use of speech. So you complement your presentation with materials that enable the prospects to understand you better. Then memorized presentation is mostly initiated by the salesman and uses their experience or whatever they have learned over time and give that information to the prospect. So mostly is a message of the company, but initiated by the sales person. But it's something that customized message, but delivered by the salesman. Organized presentation is quite popular and effective, especially when the company organizes themselves to conduct a presentation to their customers. And in most cases, the salesperson is quite flexible in oral communication. So you get a group of prospects so that you present to them and you tell them, you can give them the information from your best perspective and get responses, can deal with any issue that they might have. Then the last one is unstructured. This is whereby anything goes. Anybody can approach this thing from buyer's perspective or seller's perspective. They can explore a problem together and see a point where there's nothing that there's no specific direction given that the presentation has to go. It is at buyer's discretion, at the seller's discretion, as they handle the issues related to what the buyer wants. So those are the presentations that can be used. But during the presentations, you find that there are approaches that can be used to ensure that the presentations are effective. Approaches that we talk about here that are commonly used are four. Introductory approach during presentation is where the salesman introduces themselves and state who the company they are representing. And of course, with that information, it can place the buyer at ease. So because they know that the company they are dealing with and who they are is trying to sell to them. In addition, there is also what is called product presentation, product approach, which consists of giving information about the product in terms of its features or specification or unique characteristics and highlighting those things that are of interest to the prospect. The third approach is called consumer benefit approach. This is about informing the prospect how the product would be beneficial to them if, for example, they purchase it. The key focus is linking the product benefits or specification to the prospect's needs. And the key focus on benefits. And then the last approach is referral approach. Referral approach relates to using successful clients to give a referral to another who might be interested in that particular product. For example, if you get a new prospect, for example, and this prospect had been referred to your organization by an important customer, then you can use their name, the name of the important customer, to start to break the ice so that you can be able to present to this new prospect. That is quite a common and very successful way of reaching out to new customers. So those are the types of presentations and the approaches that can be used to make it successful. Are we together? So I think I can now go to the portal and upload a few questions for you. And also I'm going to upload these papers that I've shown you so that we are good to go. Mwaro, this is your name, huh? I marked you right. Are you there? Mwaro is gone. Huh? She's still there. Yeah, she's there. Yes, you have seen yourself. You've seen your name. I've marked you right. Mzuri sana.
Teacher,
Yeah.
class is still going on.
Yes. Yeah, but I'm just posting some work for you if you want
Okay.
to discuss, but you can log out from the live discussion. But in case you have a question, you can ask. Are we together?
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm putting some work for you. There's a discussion work I've placed there on the portal. You can access it. And also I'm putting a quiz for you to try. Yeah?
Okay.
Right.
Teacher,
Yes.
about that question you posted earlier about the four person in the level of distribution, was it supposed to be the fourth person in the level of distribution? Am I the fourth? As in, I'm not understanding that question.
Where did I put it? In the public chat.
No,
Hmm.
it was somewhere in the. Let me confirm. Yeah.
In the public chat.
No.
Hmm. The questions that are the past paper questions. Yeah.
It was a past paper question. I don't think so.
Did I write it on the public portal? No, I have not written the question.
It was like an assignment or a quiz. Okay, I don't know. It's something which has been written there. People are supposed to answer.
That one is still, I'm still doing it. So don't answer it immediately, okay? I'm going to activate it so that you can answer it, all right?
Okay.
Yeah, so just give me, it was asking like this, advantages of using personal visits in prospecting for customers, isn't it?
Not that one, teacher. I'm asking another question. It's like you are not understanding.
What? Ask again.
It's a question you write, not even in this lesson. I think the previous lesson.
Okay. Let me check. Let me see.
Yeah.
So just give me a moment. I'll check on it. And did you try to answer it?
Yeah, I tried to answer, but the way it is asking is the where I'm getting confused. That's why I'm asking. Was it supposed to be the fourth person? Am I the four person level?
Okay. All right. So it was asking the four members or participants in a two-level distribution system. Do you get it?
Yes, that one.
Four members of a two-level distribution channel.
Now my question is, was it supposed to be 4 members or the fourth member? Because the answer is retailers.
Not the fourth member.
Mm-hmm.
It's 4 members. 4 members. I'll check it here to see what was written there, but it's the 4 members of a two-level distribution channel. Eh?
Then I tried to answer by saying that the first one is producer, distributor, wholesaler, and then retailer. Then it was wrong. Then it gives like the answer is retailer.
It is a self-evaluating question. Eh?
Okay.
Oh, let me check it. Let me get it to it. Eh? I'm getting it in a moment, and then I'll inform you, right?
Okay.
So just give me a moment. Mary,
Yes.
I think it was just a question. It was not self-marking. Eh? What you are supposed to do is just to list those 4 members there and finish attempt. And
Okay.
then now it is me to come and check the items and see what you did. So just put your answers there because it opens, it gives you a place for answers. Eh?
Okay.
Write the 4 members and then now you finish attempt, okay?
Okay.
Right.